Talked. Yeah.
Hey y'all, hey, welcome to Tootie Talk Sense. Today is Sunday. It is another cold, snowy day here in Chicago, y'all. So I'm trying to stay in and stay warm. I had to go to the grocery store earlier, but I've been in the house since, okay? How's y'all day going today? I know that there was another unaliving by, this time it wasn't ICE. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Border Patrol out in Minneapolis. But today I want to talk to y'all about the Keith Porter case. And this happened on January 1st. This was a black man who was unalived by an off-duty ICE agent on New Year's Eve. Now, I've been trying to get more updates, but it doesn't seem like there've been much updates. And it's seeming like the history of these unaliving is that the Homeland Security is deciding not to do investigations. Which this one, Keith Porter, it's a little different. I am getting, for some reason, the stream went black on me, y'all. But let me see. Okay, y'all can see that one, but y'all can't see mine. So I'm gonna just continue. But this one is a little different in the fact that it was this ICE agent was not even on duty. This was that a New Year's Eve celebration. I don't know about everybody else, but here in Chicago, in our neighborhoods, New Year's Eve, people send them things off. You know, at 12 o'clock, they fire up in the air. So it seems like it was one of those celebrations going on, and people firing up in the air. There was an ICE agent living in the vicinity, and he hear the firearms being discharged. Go grab his service weapon, go out and want to look for the who's discharging the firearm, and find Keith with his firearm, and he ends up shooting him 3 times and unaliving him. Now, of course, there's 2 different stories. The witnesses says that Keith never pointed the weapon at him. He said Keith pointed the weapon at him. Of course, it's going to be 2 different stories. There's no video of this instance because even when with the Renee Good and the new victim who passed, the nurse who was unalived, I shouldn't say passed, who was unalived by ICE, that, you know, Christy Gnomes and the department come out and give you a story, and we have video behind it, and they'll just completely lie about what's going on in the video, and they like, well, are you gonna believe me or your own little lying eyes? You be like, what the what? But this one, there's no video for it. So I'm gonna show y'all the news report of it, and then I'm gonna see the latest thing that I have found on it. So here's the news
Court
report.
documents appeared to reveal the identity of the off-duty ICE agent who shot and killed a man in Northridge on New Year's Eve. Those documents say the officer is believed to be Brian Palacios. The documents were filed by the ex-husband of Palacios' current partner. This is part of a custody dispute. Palacios and his current partner live in the same complex where the shooting took place that killed the 43-year-old Keith Porter. Documents say Palacios was also known to have guns in his home. We are waiting to hear back from both Palacios' attorney and the Department of Homeland Security to confirm whether he was, in fact, the person involved in that shooting.
So that they just identified
I have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, but thanks to Sky,
it's Brian Palacio, and they said they live in the same apartment complex. Him and Keith Porter, the black man that he unalived, they lived in the same apartment complex. I mean, I'm gonna read some. The filing also state that Palacio was known to have firearms inside the house. Stacey Harpin, an attorney representing Palacio, told Eyewitness News that the allegations made against a client was investigated by law enforcement in the Department of Children and Family Services, and said they were unable to find anything that corroborated the allegations and deemed them unfounded. She said Palacio acted in self-defense the night Porter was killed and said he was protecting the neighborhood. Now, he was in his house, and he went and looked for where these shots was coming from. but he said he was protecting the neighborhood. The Department of Homeland Security also have not confirmed whether Palacio was involved in the shooting. Porter was fatally shot the night of December 31st in the 1700 block of Roscoe Boulevard. According to a statement from DHS, the ICE agent said he heard gunshots outside of his apartment. The suspect gunfire grew progressively louder, indicating to the officer that whoever was firing a gun was approaching his apartment. Read a statement released by Tricia McLaughlin, the Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs at DHS. The officer took his ICE authorized firearm and left his apartment to investigate. Uh-oh. What happened? He moved to the ground level and went outside where he believed the suspected gunfire was coming from. DHS said the agent encountered Porter holding what appeared to be a long rifle and ordered him to put it down. The ICE officer identified himself as law enforcement. In response, the individual pointed his weapon at the ICE officer. The officer ordered the subject to put the weapon down. When the subject refused to comply, the officer fired defensively with his service weapon at the subject to disarm him. The subject fired at least 3 rounds at the officer. Porter family, however, disputes that account, saying his gunfire was part of a New Year's celebration. They are asking for more information as they mourn the death. So I believe I'm gonna let y'all watch this one. I believe this is a different one than what they just showed. Yeah. Hopefully y'all, when this ad finished playing, y'all can see it. Because his family is demanding justice for this.
Community members in Northridge tonight are remembering a man who was shot and killed by an off-duty ICE agent on New Year's Eve. Authorities say the agent opened fire when that man pointed a rifle at him. Tonight, activists are demanding answers and justice. Friends say Keith Porter was celebrating New Year's Eve when he was shot and killed.
But it looks like he may have been celebrating with a gun. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pullian spoke with friends and family attending a vigil tonight, and they're now looking for answers.
We're here off Amestoy Avenue, close to where Keith Porter was gunned down by that off-duty ICE agent. This memorial is here for family, friends to mourn. This song, meant to uplift, only lowered the mood as this crowd grieves the death of a 43-year-old father of 2. Keith Porter was shot and killed New Year's Eve by an off-duty ICE agent. What would you like to say to the ICE agent if you had the chance?
If I could say anything to the ICE agent, is that you're a murderer. You stole my cousin from me. You stole their father from them. You stole a black man off the planet that God ordained to live and thrive. You stole a human life and you need to pay for it.
According to the Department of Homeland Security, the off-duty ICE agent heard gunfire near his apartment and went to check it out. That's when DHS says the officer encountered Porter holding a long rifle. Advocates say Porter was observing the holiday that night with gunfire.
You don't get to just murder people because you don't like what they're doing or how they're celebrating.
But the agent allegedly ordered Porter to put down the weapon. And when he didn't comply, DHS says the off-duty officer fired his service gun. The agency claims Porter fired 3 rounds at the officer before he was killed.
This is sad. This is sad.
We've here 35 years. This is the first time that such a thing ever happened in my community.
As the LAPD investigates what led up to the shooting, the community want witnesses to come forward and the ICE agent identified, arrested, and prosecuted for killing the man they say was kind.
I thank you. I thank you for my life.
Black Lives Matter Los Angeles organized this vigil. They are demanding accountability from District Attorney Nathan Hochman. In fact, they are having a community meeting with him on Monday. In Northridge, Tim Pulliam, ABC 7, Eyewitness News.
So that is the latest news story that I've seen on it, but also I want to read you this article because they are claiming in this article that the agent who unalived Keith Porter had a history of being racist towards Latin blacks, and he was homophobic. So let me read you this article. This is taken from, make sure y'all can see it. Okay. This is taken from, okay, theroot.com. So it says shocking new development in case of ICE agent killing Keith Porter Jr. on New Year's Eve. We now know the identity of ICE agent who shot and killed the black man Keith Porter Jr. on New Year's Eve. I don't know. No. Following the New Year's Eve death, well, let me see if this video has. No, okay. Following the New Year's Eve death of Keith Porter Jr. at the hands of an off-duty ICE agent, more questions are circling as Porter family demands justice. Now the identity of the ICE agent, the ICE officer, has been identified. Newly filed court documents confirm Officer Brian Pelosio lived in the same apartment complex where 43-year-old Porter was shot and killed on December 31st. The tragedy occurred days before an ICE agent in Minneapolis fired multiple rounds into Renee Good SUV. His death marked the first recorded account of an immigration officer killing a U.S. citizen under President Donald Trump. Still, many folks didn't learn about his story until after learning about Good's. Both Porter, 43, and Good, 37, were shot and killed by ICE officials in front of multiple witnesses. Both victims had family and children, and both communities are demanding transparency and full investigation into their deaths. The difference between the two fatal shootings, the two fatal incidents are jarring, which has prompted pause from media outlets who are not sure about how to cover Porter's story. Journalist Dr. Yannick Lamb, who is a Howard University professor, pointed to the media being spread too thin for the ongoing uncertainties. There's so much going on that it's causing distraction, Lamb said. In less than a week, the capture of the Venezuelan president, anniversary of the Capitol insurrection, and Jeffrey Epstein drama all flooded the news. Okay, if they was able to cover all that, they could cover this story too. News is almost 24. Some stations are 24 hours a day news, and the ones who's not, the ones the 7, the 9s that have their regular program, they're on for good hours. I know WGN is from 4 to like what 10 or something like that in the morning. Then you get your midday news, and then you get your, once you come home, your 4 o'clock news, and then you get your 8, 9 o'clock news. So how is this an excuse that we can't cover it because there's just so much going on? Got it. Okay, let me continue. It's by design. President Donald Trump is doing a lot of things to kind of unnerve people, but also stretch people to the limits with trying to cover everything. This includes stories like Porter, which took a tragic turn just before midnight on December 31st. According to ABC, the 43-year-old was at his Los Angeles apartment complex observing the holiday by shooting a AK-15 style rifle into the air. Witnesses denied Porter aimed his weapon at anyone opposed to a threat. Still, the gunfire caught the attention of one neighbor, Officer Pelosio, in the complex, who just so happened to be an ICE agent. Pelosio allegedly left his apartment to investigate the gunfire, while also in possession of his own department-issued firearm, according to LAPD. When he spotted Porter, a brief verbal exchange occurred before the unthinkable happened. Los Angeles police said the agent identified himself before ordering Porter to put down his gun. When the black man failed to comply, Pelosio opened fire, according to police. By the time LAPD arrived to the scene, Porter was dead. So we'll never get Porter's side of the story. And we don't have videos like we do in the other cases. We just have what Pelosi is saying and what the department is saying. And of course, the witnesses who was there, who's on Porter from Porter family, is saying something completely different. According to documents obtained by the Los Angeles Times, Pelosi had a history of abuse allegations. The agent allegedly whipped his son with a belt and made several homophobic slurs and racist comments about Black and Latinx people. He also reported for allegedly bringing a firearm to a youth sports game. LAPD alleged Porter fired 3 rounds at Pelosi right before the agent returned fire on December 31st. It's unclear if the officer was injured as a result of Porter's weapon. Now, civil rights activists and Black Lives Matter leaders are demanding accountability and justice after Porter's death. You don't just get to murder people because you don't like what they're doing or how they're doing it or how they're celebrating. And to me, that's saying that in our community, I know here in Chicago, like I said earlier, New Year's Eve, they go out and they shoot up in the air. And if you're new to that community and that's not what you're used to, then it sounds like they're saying he didn't like the behavior that was going on and was mad about what was happening. That is tradition for certain neighborhoods. Gentrification. Let's see. ICE official claimed that 43-year-old was an active shooter, but this is a label rejected by Project Islamic Hope and other civil rights groups. ICE similarly labeled the Minneapolis victim as domestic terrorist who was trying to run over Agent Jonathan Ross as ICE presence continued to fuel widespread tensions across the country. Both cases are more blows to the eroding trust between agents and the American people. Over 43% of America disapprove of ICE handling of the ongoing immigration crisis, according to a poll on YouGov. Black Lives Matter Los Angeles organized a vigil to honor Porter. According to the Los Angeles Times, we want to recognize that one of the worst unimaginable injustice has been committed, and there will be a time for us to protest. This is a time for grief. We are not going to be quiet. So, yeah, that is the story on the Black man Keith Porter, who was killed by off-duty ICE agent on New Year's Eve, y'all. I am finna get out of here. Don't forget, like the video. Let me remove this. I want to send condolences to Keith Porter and his family. And there's a big thing of unrest. Like I said, there was another person who was unalive by ICE agents today. I will get to covering that story maybe tomorrow as more details become available. The video is out. It is shown everywhere. What it looks like is that of course, they was out there with whistles signifying that ICE is in the neighborhood. He was out there with his phone, and ICE had threw this woman down on the ground. He jumped in to try to help the woman up. ICE then, about 5 of them jumped on him, attacked him, seeing that he was carrying, looks like it seemed that he was carrying, because they end up saying gun. You see on the video, one of the ICE agents takes the gun and walks away, and then they shoot him multiple times. So that's another one that's going on, and I'll bring that to y'all later. Like the video as y'all come in, or as I am about to leave, actually. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm trying to be on here more often and more consistent to bring y'all more stories, and it's going to be stories that's trending, political stories, what's in the news. Y'all drop down in the comment. Let me know anything that y'all see that you want me to cover. Send me a link at my email, tootie@gmail.com, and I will catch y'all next time. Stay warm and